No. Okay. Well, we should be live, hopefully. This is a new cast of folks from what we have streamed before. We're playing our Indiana Jones, the original TSR game from back in the
Bum, ba-dum,
80s,
ba.
but doing it as a pulp adventure game. So we're going to go
Mhm.
through and do introductions. Just tell me who you are, anything you're working on you'd like to plug, and then who your character is and a little bit about them. I will say this is probably the last or next to last game in
Mhm.
this campaign. So those tuning in, you're hitting us at the end of this saga. If you want to catch out the rest of it, check out our podcast at bluemagic.com. Links up there on the screen, and look
Mhm.
up the Wages of Sin game, and you'll catch the rest of this. So,
Mhm.
John, why don't you kick it off?
Well, I'm John, and I'm playing Louis Lamont, prize fighter and would-be super masked hero vigilante.
Nice.
Yeah. And get a little backstory for those who's tagging in. His cousin got off by some mob, and he's been trying to find out what happened, and he's got pulled into a whole lot more than he ever thought he ever get pulled into. Like it was his grand uncle or grandfather.
Grandfather.
Grandfather was a mass vigilante. Surprise, surprise.
All right, Todd.
Uh, Hi, I'm Todd Zerker. I'm currently playing Randall Sage, a private detective, kind of a failed criminologist, uh,
Bon
pretty much
vivant.
getting shot at, getting my cars dumped into the river, not having a good day, whatever.
Mhm.
But also part of the team and basically trying to bring crime to an end or at least take it down a notch in the city.
Mhm.
All right, and Kim.
Yes, my name is Kim, and I play Lancia, who was in the past a car thief before she got into the crime fighting business. And she also unexpectedly became an actress recently.
Yeah, and she was surprisingly good at her auditions, which shocked everyone, including
She's
Lancia, I
what, only
think.
4'5".
Yeah, thereabouts.
Which is perfectly normal for actors and actresses. Let's be real.
Tom Cruise, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so many. Oh, so many. Okay, guys. Well, it has been 3 months since last time we played this, so I know things are going to be a little hazy, but you are on the set of Paragon Films. You have integrated yourself in various ways as either actors, stage hands,
Mhm.
criminal consultants, Todd.
Yeah.
In his role as a private detective, the studio has hired him to go over the scripts to make it as real as possible.
Yeah. We do have some allies. We have, let me get his name real quick. David Troy, good cop, detective, G Man.
Possibly a G-Man, yes.
Possibly a
Yeah.
G Man, yes. We also have, well, we got, who else we have as possible allies? Oh, what's his name? Oh, his name's on the map, so I have to, okay, I got to get his name. Mr. Lee. He's, he runs an automat, a Korean automat. Yeah, go ahead, figure that one out. Yeah. But
Hey, he
yeah,
serves up the tastiest Korean food in vending machines. I mean, come on, it's a thing.
yeah. Let's see, who else do we got? I mean, there's other people we sort of met, and we have yet to meet any of the. Now, there's two families. There's the Kyong family and the Chin family, and I think it's the Chin family we don't like more. We don't like more. We dislike them more than we dislike the Kyong family.
Yep, the
The
Chin family
Kyong.
is the one that seems to be in bed with the Paragon Pictures Company, and therefore also in with the Dawson family or Dawson Consolidated, who are the movers and shakers of the town. There's actually three major
Yeah.
wealthy families in town: the Dawsons, the Augers, and the Mungers. And you just found out last episode that one of the Munger family, one of their beautiful platinum-haired daughters, is the star of the show that's being filmed now, although she's not a great actress.
Now, hopefully,
Oh, I'm ready for my close-up, sir.
Mr. DeMille. Yeah.
And didn't she recently disappear?
Yeah,
yeah,
she's been
She
gone from the
disappeared.
set for a day anyway.
Yeah, broken nail. No, so the Chin family is the one that tried to get me to do a fall in a fight. Oh, by the way, Louis is also a prize fighter.
A good one.
Mhm.
oh
yeah.
yeah, last match was phenomenal.
Oh yes.
Shot in the side and,
And
still
kept
managed
on
to
boxing.
KO,
That's right.
KO the Swede. Oh yeah.
Some of the other things you found out is you got a hold of the script for the picture that's being shown, and you found that there's a lot of details in the scripts that match up with actual murders and crimes that have been taking place that have been heretofore unattached to any particular criminal family.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Well, we haven't figured out if the writer's thumbing the nose at the authority or if he's just not really good and just was cribbing from actual events, since he is related tangentially, at least, to the family.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And there's that floor safe that we can't get into, which
Yet,
Yep.
little Lancia can, maybe.
I think that's where we left it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is the script writer's room who you convinced to take a short holiday as he was very stressed out.
Mhm. Well,
And-
was he convinced, or was he already planning to do so?
Well, I think he was wavering, and you guys convinced them that taking the time off was probably the best thing to do, since the shooting's already in production. He won't be needed for at least another week or two. So you have convinced him to go and see family.
Yeah. So the big question is, does anyone else know he's taking off? I mean, he is a loose end.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put past whoever is trying to throw a monkey wrench in to the production.
oh yeah, I guess we should mention that there's elements that are trying to sabotage the show, the picture that's being filmed, which is part
Yes.
of a serial.
I very nearly drowned.
Yep.
Yes.
I rescued her.
I was in the car in the trunk, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I deadlift a DeSoto. Yeah.
That's
That was
heroic.
epic.
So Louis, you have currently a job on the carpentry team right now. You're doing
Yep.
set design and doing more. Well, basically the fix-it man. Remember the last thing you had to do? There was a car jump stunt that you had just caught in the nick of time. That car was not going to make it because the ramp was not built well.
That's right.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Built well, it was cut.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. The supports had been cut, had been sawed through so that if any you could walk on it just fine. Drive a 1-ton Detroit steel onto it, yeah, not so much.
Yep.
So we had to fix it and rebolster it and delayed the shooting. In fact, I think we delayed the shooting to the point where they had to do it like Monday.
Right. So you have the weekend now. That's kind of where
Yeah.
we left off. Is you've got this safe in the scriptwriter's private office to find out what it might be hidden in there. You have successfully put off the last day of shooting, which was going to be on a Friday. So you've put that off. So you're going to have the weekend until they come back Monday to start shooting again. And again, some of the points that are sticking out is that Celeste Munger, the of the Munger family, who is the starlet of the show, didn't show up for work today, being Thursday. Didn't show up today. People were expecting her. Also, her private secretary, who is also related to her, did not show as well.
Yeah. No, I thought she was there.
She was there.
I thought
but
I talked to her.
Yeah, but then gone. Like she took off shortly after checking in, and the shooting for the day went on. And then when you tried to find her, she's left.
Well, there's plenty of starlets. You put a blonde wig on and shoot from the back, and no one notices the difference. except the money people, because she's a monger.
Yeah, you can
I'm
just
sure
film her
she-
running away from things, and
Yeah. Lancia, you've proven to be a much better actress than many people here.
Sadly,
Perhaps your background in car thievery is.
Yeah.
I've had to
proving
lie to a
helpful.
few police officers. And
sadly,
well-practiced, honest face.
sadly, Lancia comes up to here on Celeste, so it's kind of hard to have her the understudy. Yeah.
Just ever stand on a box and just shoot from the knees up.
Well, that's what that was it. Foreshortening, isn't that what the technique's called? You actually just
Mhm.
put her closer to the camera to
yeah, the
make her bigger.
perspective.
Peter
Yeah.
Jackson used it to great effect on the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
There you go.
You have Frodo sitting next to Gandalf. That was a great piece of misdirection and forced perspective, because they didn't shoot one and then shoot the other. They shot them both at the same time. So they had what's his name, Frodo, the actor, sitting back far enough to be the right size, and then they had to line everything up in the shot so that the line of the bench was not unbroken.
I don't think Paragon's that advanced, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
For those tuning
No,
in, this is a nebulous time period, sometime before, actually after World War II, but before
World War
other
One.
things. World War One, yes, right.
Yeah. So it's could be the naughty teens, or it could be the Roaring 20s.
Mm-hmm.
No prohibition, so. And it's talkies, so that actually puts it. This is an altered timeline.
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, talkies did really come to vogue until the late 20s, so it is but we still have gangs, so
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we also have Raven Tech, so
Yes.
definitely
Yes.
it's not our world.
oh, we should mention that, because my grandfather, whose name I keep forgetting, what's his name again?
Pops.
Yeah, Gramps, was in the 1900s,
Mhm.
late
he
1800s.
was a crime fighter
90s?
right before the war, or before the
Yeah.
war, and
He was a Cape Crusader, the Raven, and then stuff happened, and he hung up the cowl, hung up the cape, and but kept everything pristine. So when we found the Raven's lair in an old warehouse, the Black Beauty was fully functional. Everything's well stocked. We got all the drugs we ever want to deal with things.
Medicinal.
That doctor is sort of an ally.
That would be Dr. Jerome Sedgwick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing you found out that's important to mention last episode, again, we're going over all this because it's been 3 months since we've come to this game.
Yes.
You have found ties between Paragon and the Vincenzo crime family, which was the crime family that your uncle eradicated in his role as the Raven. He destroyed that crime family, yet you have found some information saying that they might be back.
Yeah.
It might
the ones
be in some
backing-
way connected to one of the three major families that run this town.
Yeah, they're the ones backing the Paragon movies and startups.
Mhm.
Which, for those of you who's interested, this is actually fairly historically correct. Movies were done mostly in New York, New Jersey, in that area, because that's where the money was.
Yep.
They only moved to California because Edison.
Yeah, owned all the rights to the film, the film product, and so
That he
there was-
stole from a Frenchman. Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of Edison. If you haven't caught on to that.
No one should be.
Yeah. The inventor of the research facility. Yeah.
So again, let's focus in on the scene that we're left in from last time. Is you have successfully gotten most of the crew for Paragon Pictures here to take the weekend off because of
Yeah.
delays due to sabotage, and got the writer off. So you're not going to have the whole run of the facilities to yourself, but there will be far fewer people here.
Yeah.
So we're picking up on the evening of that Thursday. Once all this is found out, everyone is told that they're not shooting tomorrow due to some problems with the scenery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And hopefully in that time they'll be able to find their star.
Yeah, I may be late getting back anyway because I'll be out probably working on the reconstruction of the ramp. Yeah. But when I get back, the thing is, I've been interviewing 3 months. I've been thinking, this is going to be the penultimate episode. He's got to show up.
What, the Raven?
The new Raven?
Yeah. So I'm thinking, take the Indiana. Oh yes, they were using the Indiana Jones RPG system from TSR from circa 1984.
I think it was 84. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting system. So let's take it up. Lancia, you're done with your set production for the day. You shot your scenes. Everybody give you a very good round of applause. Of course, it was you that was supposed to make the jump in the car before it was found out that it was sabotage.
Yeah. Because wasn't also the latch inside the trunk, wasn't that cut as well?
Right.
Well,
right.
Or was that a different car?
Different shot, different car.
Oh.
Yeah.
But that was another sabotage that you guys did find out.
Yeah. I mean, your character was supposed to die anyway, so in the movie or in the serial.
They wanted to make it realistic.
You gotta remember, we're making a serial. So imagine Phantom Empire or any of the serials from the 20s and 30s. This is what we're making. Meaning on a shoestring. The writer's writing the script before the hours, if not minutes, before the actors actually say the lines.
All right, guys. So what do you want to do? It's the end of the day. People are taking off. Lancia, you had a couple of offers are made if you want to join the crew. They're going out for drinks again. It's this thing they usually do. You were invited out the last time. So locker rooms are emptying out. Louis, your crew is even taking off after they make sure that you have what you need to repair things. If you want a guy to stay with you to give you a hand, you're welcome to. He'll cut the overtime. But otherwise,
if Abraham's leaving early, then I'll leave. I'll leave same time Abraham does. Abraham's the foreman, and I like him, so I hope nothing bad happens to him. Sadly, we may end up getting him not fired, but out of a job. If we think Paragon. What's Randall up to?
As I'm leaving for the day, I'm actually going to chat up some of the security, since I actually was introduced to the head of security, and I am going to subtly suggest, or as subtle as Randall gets, that they need to do extra routes and keep an eye on the set to make sure that it isn't tampered with. And my ulterior motive is, if they're patrolling the set, that means they're not patrolling the offices. So that's also going to take eyeballs off of where we need to be.
Well, except for one eyeball.
We do the best we can.
Yeah. The guy, we discovered there's a guy or a series of guys who are up in the catwalks in the building that has all the offices. It used to be a studio, but it was they partitioned out into offices. Yeah. And he's up in the catwalks. He's got a view out one window or maybe a door. I'm not quite sure if it's a window or a door. And he's got, I think, does he have a gun?
Well,
I think so.
You're talking to the head of security, and he tells you, well, and he takes his cap off and scratches his head. It's like, they did cut back the funding. I've only got 3 guys. Night shift will start soon. Of course, he's got some dogs, and he usually put them on perimeter guard around the fence. And I can call in another guy if you think it's necessary.
I don't think we need to go to the expense. We just need to make sure that I almost want to say, put the dogs inside with the set. That might be the best way to deter anyone from tampering.
he scratches his
sure.
head inside of the set, huh? We do get looky-loos that try to jump that fence out there, and sometimes they make off with company property. I mean, are you sure? I just got the one
Well,
guy and 3 dogs.
it's a big set. You can pull everything into the warehouse. That way, clear line of sight, no problem with anyone trying to jump the fence and take a souvenir. And I'm just really worried about our actors. Yeah, it was a close call today.
All right, why don't you make me an appeal check? Let's see how well you're coming
Oh
across.
God.
Do it at full. I mean, he knows that you're here for consulting and that you actually are, an actual gun-toting private investigator that kind of supposedly knows his business.
Oh.
Yeah.
This guy's a rental cop. He spent some time in the war, but hasn't ever been trained in.
You should
really
probably
anything.
explain to the audience how the system works in Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's a chart based. As a lot of TSR's offerings in around the 82 to 86 period were. So it's D percentage based. The chart's very simple. It just tells you you're either rolling at your full value, half or quarter value, depending on the difficulty.
So Todd,
0 to 5 is a critical success. 96 to 100 is critical failure.
And I rolled a 31, which is underneath my 46. So huzzah!
So better than half.
Not quite, but not terrible, which for me is a fantastic roll.
Okay, so it's above half, but still within your range.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he's not sure about it, but he'll bow to your criminal expertise. It's like, well, I suppose we'll just make sure everything's locked down tight. Of course, we do have the gate guard to let people in and out of the lot. I'll just ask him to be extra vigilant. Do you think I should arm the guys? I mean, we don't normally. But I keep hearing
to be
that
honest,
there's sabotage on the set, so I'm a little concerned about my men.
Now, that's a good point. I have to be honest. What does the insurance coverage for Paragon Pictures?
Oh, well, if they're on our property, I mean, there's no problem if we shoot somebody on our property.
Maybe the gate guard packing some heat would be a good deterrent.
All right. Well, I'll authorize a shotgun for him. We'll put some radios on the gate watchman and inside security with the dogs. We'll give them some radios. I'll be up all night. I'm going to be offset for, probably until after midnight, but I'll come back, spell out anybody that needs a break. That sounds good.
Sounds like you got it covered.
Where are you, Mr. Sage? Are you leaving the set? Can I show you out, or do you still need to secure some things?
I'm good here. Nothing more I can add script-wise. Just figured I would earn my pay and check in with you.
All right. He pulls out a little notepad and says, well, it looks like George, Mr. Conley's on the front gate tonight, and Mr. Ham, Daniel, is on perimeter guard, which he pulls out a CB. I'll let him know that he's going to be inside the building tonight. He walks off, starts communicating with people.
Yeah. The metagame comment comes up and says, Randall, you do have free roam the place at night. You could always offer your services.
Well, if we get caught, I got some names. Really, that will really help with my bona fides if it comes up. So I consider that a wonderful success. Yeah. So I will definitely be seen leaving.
Okay. Yep. So you are going to be seen leaving the lot. Okay. So we're going to say it's about 6 o'clock as you are heading out.
And we got the whole weekend, so we don't have to do it tonight. Yeah.
You're essentially being, even the cleaning crew has finished up early because shooting stopped early today. Essentially, shooting stopped once you found the bad jump for the car. So even the cleaning crew's done. The only people that are going to be hanging around are a few of the stage workers on Abraham's crew. They're just cleaning things up and making sure, Louis, that you have what you need for the weekend. And if you want to walk out with them, you can, or you can just tell them you'll leave on your own later. Lancia,
You mean Randa gets to walk out?
right? Lancia, are you gonna leave out with the rest of the cast, or are you gonna hang around and give them just some reason why you're staying?
Yeah, I was just gonna hang around because I
Right,
figured,
yeah,
you know,
good enough.
everyone's leaving. I won't really want to get into that safe. So,
Yeah, and well, you don't know about the safe yet because we haven't.
oh no.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you guys
Oh,
haven't
okay.
met
I
up
thought we
yet.
were discussing it. Okay.
No, yeah, no,
Then I
no.
haven't met up, so that's a good reason then.
Yeah,
Because I haven't met anybody.
and I haven't done about the safe too. And I figure, hey, the shop crew is going to the bar, the exact same bar.
Mm-hmm.
And if I see Lancia hanging out, I'm going, put on my white night hat and gotta follow Lancia, make sure he doesn't get in trouble.
Well, I tell you what, why don't we pick up at the bar then, which is the one that's just
Yeah.
offset near the college, the university people like to go to. And
Clancy's.
this
or
has
something
already
like that.
happened once, so all of you kind of know that you'll end up there, or that everyone else will end up there. So we'll pick it up. It's Thursday night, so it's actually not very busy. Cast and crew come in, they get their usuals. They have some really good soup here. That's like one of the main draws of this place, as well
Thursday
as a
or
couple of
Friday?
good beers.
Is it Thursday or Friday?
This is Thursday. Yeah.
Oh, so we're getting Friday off.
You're getting Friday and the weekend off.
Whoa.
The 3-day weekend.
With pay?
Yes, of course. Well, to be honest, your paycheck, you draw a certain amount a week. It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll raise a glass with Abraham and shoot some darts.
Well, you pick up a few things. Most of the carpentry crew, since they've got an extended weekend, they're not being back till Monday. Several of them are going to leave the city, go and visit family in the countryside. Even Abraham's going to take off. He's got some churching to do with his fellowship. They're going to go out and raise a barn this weekend.
Oh.
Abraham's always working one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. Mennonite or more?
Mennonite, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm saying I got things to take care of around here. Actually, I probably need to hit the sparring gym tomorrow. I got to keep appearances. I'm a prize fighter.
Yep.
But about after an hour or so, pretty much everybody begs off for the night. No heavy drinking tonight, since you're going to have an extended weekend. Everyone's going to save it up for the weekend, and eventually, you guys have a table to yourself.
Mm.
Oh, good.
You there, Randall?
I'm probably at the Raven's Nest.
Ah,
be
Oh,
honest.
so you don't show up?
Oh.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, one, I wasn't invited, and two, I've got to make sure we get our gear in order.
Mm. Yeah, so I get, so it's probably just a small number. It's not, it's not just me and Lancia. There's probably one or two others,
Sure.
Because
You're
there's
the harder
not every,
drinkers.
yeah, not everyone's going in North State New York and go wherever. Where it's kind of like New York, kind of like New Jersey, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So.
All right, so it's just the two of you at the table then. After a while,
Yeah.
a few people are hanging out at the bar, but otherwise,
Yeah.
slow night.
Yeah. Probably, look at him and look at her. Wow. So you pick up anything, Lancia?
No, not really. After the
Mhm.
car incident, it's been a rather slow day.
Hey, I didn't see Blondie.
No, I asked her when I saw her assistant earlier.
Mhm.
She said she didn't know where she was. So
Well, do you know where she lives? Could check and make sure that she's okay.
yeah, the assistant didn't seem concerned. If
Mm.
I remember correctly, she kind of thought she was at a tanning booth or something along those lines.
Mm.
But that might be worth a check.
Yeah. I haven't seen Randall since I think this afternoon, so I wonder what he's up to.
Yeah, I wonder where he went.
Yeah. What you doing, Randall?
You can call the Raven Slayer. I mean, you've got a few numbers to call to find.
Oh
out.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give him a call. Wait a second. Grab a remote. No, by that time they actually had a proper phone. Yeah. Ring, 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 ring.
Yep. So you're back at the Raven's Nest there, and phone rings. This is the direct line.
I didn't even know we had one.
Hey, I got all the numbers memorized.
Hello?
Oh, Matoni spaghetti. We need an order. No,
Right.
this is Louis. Me and Lance are at Clancy's right now. What you up to?
Doing good things, getting resources together.
Okay.
I figure some tools of the trade might be in order. I got some important info to share with you, but don't know if I should do it on the phone.
Yeah, Mabel's probably listening. Hi, Mabel. Back in the day, this is a little aside for the audience, operators would do the connections. So I probably called Buford 555-1212, you get an operator and they plug you into Buford 5, whatever. So yeah, you never know if they're still listening. So yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, we'll stop on by and check things out. Want us to bring you something? Brisket?
Sure.
I think Morgan's is still open. We can get you some brisket.
Well, the soup here is famous. We can
Oh yeah.
probably get some soup. Yeah.
See if they'll give us a container to go.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah.
Trivia question for the GM.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, telecom operator
Yep.
that was part of the network. Is she still working or is she retired?
She's retired, but what I was saying about this being the private line is Charlie actually set this up, so there's no operator. She essentially, in some building somewhere, she hooked up a plug directly to that line and just left it. So, yeah. So whatever you call that specific number, it's relayed directly to the Raven's Nest.
And it's probably not even a plug. It's probably she went and rewired the back end thing so that no one knows.
Oh, it's part of a rat's nest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've seen pictures of the rat's nest behind those.
Oh.
God. The fact that she figured out which one where it goes is amazing. Yeah.
Hope someone
so-
labeled them well. That's the
Yeah.
thing. All right.
And then
So
she
yeah.
really.
looks off. Yeah. So we'll pick up some soup and we'll pick up some brisket and head back to the Raven's Lair, I guess.
Sounds like a plan.
Mhm. So
Okay. Yeah. Once the crew gets back, I explain the safe, and I think why this has the goods that we'll need that'll connect some of the dots.
mhm.
The Raven has some tools, some safe cracking gear. I am not the most talented person to do this, so I want to go over that with Lancia and say,
Mhm.
it's got the stethoscope and it's got. I don't know what all this stuff does. You can tune it or something, and I think if we can get into the office, and I've done my best to redirect the guards so we have a minimum amount of chance of being intercepted. We can get into the safe, get the goods, and get
Mhm.
out. If we do it tonight, I actually know the names of the guards at the gate and on patrol, and I have found out that they use dogs. So that's something we got to be careful about. But I'm told them to keep the dogs on the inside, just for security purposes. So as long as we stay out of the stage warehouse area, we shouldn't have that much trouble. Been doing my part.
It shouldn't be a problem.
No, we should be able to deal with
But
that.
it does sound like tonight is the time to do it. If you know who the guards are.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
You know, and this is where I come up with my idea of we need to give, because you also have that guy who's in the same building up in the upstairs. He needs something to look at, get his attention away from you guys down there. And this is where I come up with my idea of dressing up like, get his name again, Davenport. You know, put on the trench coat and the hat and get this Malty Alv Joe's, the shop, and just drive up and just park it. Sit there, smoke a cigarette, take their attention away. You know, draws attention to me because he probably knows that Davenport is crooked. Why is Davenport there? What's going on? And hopefully, I provide a distraction.
That's an idea.
Mm-hmm. I got roughly the same build. Maybe a little taller than he is, but if I slouch a little bit, you know.
Well, if you're in a car too, right? So I don't know.
Oh no, I'll get out and stand. You got to see some and just sit there, smoke a cigarette, and look at the building. But yeah, I got my. Does he wear a trilby or does he wear a the hat?
Fedora?
Fedora, yes.
He's a fedora man. Yes, he's very. He's very big into his haberdashery.
Oh yeah. So
he started with the bowler, and it just didn't fit his round face. So,
or it fit too well.
Well, yeah. Guys. If you know, on top of that, if you have some way that you could, click us a signal on the radio, that would be a great way to let us know when the patrolling guard is on the same side of the building as you.
All right, I'll go. I'll just brighten up, walk over to the. Just a second. I go into the equipment area and come out with the small transmitters.
Small for those days.
Yeah. Oh, size of a paperback. Hey, that's small for those days. Yeah, I can do that. In fact, look, and I hold one up and give you the other end, and there's a little button label. There's a little button. I go click, 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 and you hear the other one go beep, beep, beep.
High tech stuff for the day.
Nice.
I was just thinking of the old walkie-talkies when I was a kid because they had a Morse code button on them.
Right.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Never
Anything else you've got to load up with? Remember, the Raven's Lair has a number of less than lethal weaponry as well. You got the gas pellet guns. You've got what are effectively tasers.
Well, you guys should have the gas pellet guns.
Yeah, that would definitely come in handy.
Let's read.
Is
Uncle,
there maybe
Grandpa's notes? Are these proof against animals, or are they too
they're a
good?
tranquilizer dart for the animals? Maybe not.
Here's the question, though: are they tranquilizer darts for animals or tranquilizer darts for people?
Yes,
people is what they were made for. But
yeah, they probably kill the dogs.
It would kill the
So the gas pellets may be more effective. Yeah. Also, a good steak. I hope the brisket.
I was going to eat that.
Is anyone bringing a suit? Is anyone bringing the Raven costume?
Now, there's the question. I could actually probably wear it under the trench coat.
Yes, you could. Yep.
Worst case scenario, and have the cowl, actually have the cowl just back there. I imagine he looks a bit like Harvey Birdman. Way cooler.
It would be an appropriate look. I mean, just grab it by the beak and pull it over.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I imagine the beak is not as prominent as Harvey Birdman's.
It's a subtle thing. And don't forget the feather darts.
Oh, I got those. I carry those all the time nowadays. Yeah.
They make a good calling card too.
Actually, I imagine on the full outfit, there's a thing on the wrist that he just goes boom, 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 and fires those darts.
Now,
for the audience, I should mention that the Raven has been many people over the years, big, small, tough, agile. So the load of tricks that are in the Raven's nest, it is an armory meant for many different styles
Mhm.
of vigilante.
Yep.
So what we are tapping on has been toys that we've discovered
Mhm.
in previous sessions.
Oh. So the question: if I were to try to shoot something, would that be prowess, strength,
Yes.
movement?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it'd be
prowess. Yep.
I'm a damn good shot.
Yep.
I got prowess of 83.
Most
Oh
everything
wow.
physical is prowess.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you heading back to Paragon tonight? Are you going to hit it over the weekend? What's the plan?
Well, Todd's plan is hit tonight, and you have the obvious excuse of I'm just checking on security.
Yeah.
You did get permission to patrol.
Kind of got permission to patrol, but enough that
You
if we get
BS
caught,
your way through somebody. Yeah.
I can BS my way through. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea of tonight, I think.
Mm-hmm. So I'll find the biggest trench coat because the Raven suit is body armor.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, so you're wearing the Raven suit underneath the trench coat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Randall, you're the one that has pretty much free run of the facilities. Although Louis could probably make an excuse and say no, that you're going to be here over the weekend fixing the ramp.
Yeah.
Lancia is the only one that kind of sticks out as an actress. May not really have a reason, although you can
Yep.
feign leaving something behind, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
how do you want to
Yeah.
approach the gates?
Actually,
And which
I hate to
vehicle?
say, I actually want to do a little role playing before then because I'm putting the suit on. I just fit the cowl on, so I look really cool. And look at the other two going. You guys need code names because I can't call you Lancia and Randall. Lancia, you're the Kestrel.
Okay.
Randall,
Hmm.
you're
Yeah.
you're a gatherer of clues, right? You're the magpie.
I can work with that.
Yeah. So when if we I go in the room and I pull out because I imagine because he had to work with other people, I pull out some masks, just dominoes,
Mhm.
Mhm.
hand one to Lancia, hand one to Randall, hand her a chauffeur's cap because it's she's Arcado.
So there has
Randall
to be a
doesn't.
scene, John, when you're standing in front of the mirror practicing the
Mhm.
Ravens
Mhm.
trademark. So let's hear it.
Do
Do you remember it?
Do crime and nevermore. I can't remember when we did Tiger and Bunny. I can't do that voice for any period of time. I did the gravelly voice. I'm your worst nightmare. Only more gravelly than that.
So Louis stands in front of the mirror for a few minutes, getting down the getting the line down.
Also practicing the voice.
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm the Raven.
All right. So what vehicle are you taking?
Well,
you
but
guys
before
take-
that, how do we want to breach the fence? Because the idea was not to go through the gate,
Mhm.
but to have our decoy out front, keeping the
Mhm.
attention of the guards and possibly the lookout.
Yeah. So
And-
back to the shop. Come back and hand you the hand pourable acetylene torch.
Okay, that leaves a permanent hole, which would work.
Well, there's probably also. I bet there's also probably a chain ladder you can throw over.
I'm just worried about noise.
Yeah. And wouldn't that take a little bit of time or?
Mm,
Well, maybe we just have to go with a cut.
mm.
Mhm.
Acetylene torch will cut right through it. If you
Yeah,
cut jagged or cut, hey, because you probably relate to how people would jump the fence and stuff like that. There's probably people cut it all the time. If you don't want to use a acetylene torch, we got bolt cutters. If you want to go with that, it look more like, oh, I'm breaking in to steal something from the warehouse.
if we go with bolt cutters, we can always blame it on that's how the saboteur got in.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. In fact, for all you know, you'll find the hole that he actually used to get in with too in the first
I
place.
think he walked right in.
Yeah, that's true. But
Oh, he did.
I'll have you guys drop me off at Joe's and get Davenport's Model T.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Okay.
Drive it.
that's about as authentic of a deception as you can get.
Hmm. And do you guys want to take the Black Beauty or take one of the nondescripts?
Well,
Oh,
that's up to the driver.
I would go with something more nondescript this time.
Mm-hmm.
As fun as the
Ah.
Black Beauty is.
Yeah. So the DeSoto.
Is that the bright red one?
No. That's the doozy.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. DeSoto definitely sounds like it'd be easier to blend in.
Or the Model A. There's a Model A down there.
Well, we might be pursued, so I want something
Yeah.
more horsepower.
Uh,
So something a little bit bigger than a lawnmower engine.
Really?
there's even a Ford electric down there. That's an antique.
Yep. You have all kinds of cars in the garage, but so you're gonna pick up the Model T that's at your
Mhm.
workplace that you're working on for Troy.
Oh yeah, that's that part of the backstreet. Look, he's also between bouts. He works as an auto mechanic at Joe's garage.
Yeah, he's still in the hospital.
Yeah, I blame the road system for that. Uh, actually, no. If you're not a protagonist or a main character or a main NPC, yeah, you're gonna be in the hospital for a while.
Quite a while.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right, so you guys load up. So Louis, were you going to be the one to approach the gate as the decoy?
Yep. Well, not personally. I'm going to be because I mentioned that there's this road that comes up. Let's take a look at the map.
Yeah, take a look at the map. So Paragon there is all set up in the green.
So is this where? Okay, oh no! First, turn off the drag hand. Turn on select. Okay, it's about here where the main gate is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to pull up the main gate and sort of like park right there. Park just north of that intersection, south of the main gate. Just park on the other side of the road, get out, put out a cigarette, light it up, and just stare at the gate and stare at the building.
Okay. So at night, basically the place is pretty much unlit. There's a couple of floodlights right around the gatehouse, and the only gates that allow normal entrance into the grounds.
Can I say that there is a street light right there too?
Sure. Yeah. That's a main street right there.
I am right under the street light.
Yep. So with that fedora, your face is in shadow. Bonus.
Yep.
Sure. So you're making a display out in front of the guard shack then. So you're
Making
across
it
the street. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bit distracting. Like a few times you see that he's looking out of the booth just to see what's going on. At some point he comes out, lights a cigarette, just kind of stares at you across the road. Like you've been sitting out there silhouetted for like a good half hour. he's like
puffing the cigarette and tap.
He makes a show of checking his shotgun.
Yeah.
I like how they're communicating without words.
Lots of body language going on.
Oh, here we go.
So where do Lancia and Randall, where do you want to make your approach?
Well, I believe on the west side, that large building is the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we're going to have to park somewhere on the west, breach the fence, and get into the warehouse. And hopefully Lancia's lock-picking skills are up to the task.
All right. So how did you decide to breach the fence? You could go over the whole thing from top to bottom. It's about it's 8 feet of fence, and then it's got the outward sloping bar that's got some wire on it. So for another 2 feet.
We're definitely going to go with just cutting a few lengths with the
Sure.
bolt
Bolt
cutters.
cutters.
Use some
Yeah.
bolt cutters to get in. All right.
Yeah.
Let me have both of you guys make me a roll. Assume that you're trying to be quiet about this, and really, this roll is just to
Absolutely.
see if anything really bad happens while you're doing this.
And of course,
Make a
we are going to
sneaking
wait for
roll.
Louis to give us the signal that we're not having a guard walk up
Yeah,
on us.
there you go. You
Actually,
hear
when the
beeps.
guard comes out, that's how I reach into my pocket and go.
Well,
beep, beep, beep.
There's two guards.
I know, but he's
Yeah.
walking out. You know he probably got on the phone and called one of the other guys.
Well, now remember, Louis can only see the guy that's at the gatehouse because
Gate,
you
yeah.
asked for the other guy to be inside the building.
Ask for the dogs to be inside,
Right.
and the security guide says there's one guy on patrol,
Mm-hmm.
and that was Ham David that was going to be on patrol.
Okay, so I'll give him the signal as soon as I see Han David go the opposite direction.
Sure. All right,
Yeah,
so
so-
let's have Lancia and Randall make go
Sneak
ahead and
and
make
roll.
prowess rolls. Actually,
Okay.
Wow.
really, I'm just looking to make sure you don't botch. I mean, even a fail would be okay.
Yeah, I got a 30. My prowess is a 56.
No problem.
Ooh.
Ace,
Nice.
A7.
Okay.
That is. This might be my day.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. So
Yeah.
you don't make much sound at all. What light there is around the building isn't concentrated back this way. So you creep up to the back door of the warehouse. It is locked, so this is where Lancia's will apply her lock-picking skills.
hmm
All right, you can do it at full since you pulled some of the Raven's lock-picking equipment with you.
Okay. Let's see. I don't have a number next to that for some reason.
By the skill, no. You know, the skill usually allows you to have to do something at full versus being able to do it at half or quarter if you don't have it.
Oh, okay.
So this is going to be
Oops.
actually, make me an instinct roll with this. Like you're finessing the lock, you're getting a feel for it to see how it's made.
Oh,
89. Okay, how bad of a failure is that?
yeah. So my instinct is 79.
79. Okay.
Not that bad.
No, it wasn't as bad as it looked, but still,
Okay,
I
so
guess.
not double, but above your rating. All right. So it actually is it's actually quite a good lock. Somebody spent some serious money on this. You're not able to pick it. You might be able just to break it though. I mean, you do have the bolt cutters,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
but you're not going to be able to do this stealth wise. Like, it'll be obvious that someone has cut off the lock.
It was kind of at the point I'm just going to go with it,
Yeah.
unless somebody stops me.
Alright.
It's too bad you don't have the lock gun. That's too early for the lock gun.
Yeah.
All right, Randall, you have the bolt cutters then. So she motions to you. You make the snips.
Master key.
yep.
We'll do it.
Lock falls
Uh,
off.
We'll take it with us because a lock on the ground is a lot more obvious than a lock that's missing.
You just
Sure.
pocket it.
Yeah.
This is,
Pocket the lock.
and
All
I
right.
whisper, we're on a time limit now.
You pop into the back. This is basically the warehouse. They receive some goods here. You know, like the lumber is the most recent thing they received back here.
Yeah.
There are a few lights on, just enough to give it just a very low, dim amount of light. No one's working back here. Both of you pause for a moment, listen. You don't hear anything.
Well, we need to make a beeline for the office block and get a door between us and anyone else.
Yeah, I'm right behind you. I don't think I've been in the office before, so
Okay. Both of you make me movement checks then.
And hope you hear the pitter patter of little feet.
oops.
Well, there went my luck.
Oh, that's a critical failure. Okay.
Hey, but I still got in under mine.
You got into your, so you're being fairly quiet. I assume that you guys are stringing out a little bit, just in case, like if one of you is seen, the other one can kind of duck away and hide. So you're going through, and sure enough, Lancia, you're able to duck into the office, which the door to the office itself was not locked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's, you know, he
Well,
assumed that
it's-
everybody was, you know, the whole place will be locked down, so why lock the office? So you duck in, but then Randall, you're kind of caught out of the open when you see a dog pat around the corner.
Woof.
Yeah, it kind of looks up at you.
I pull out my secret weapon, brisket.
Nice.
And
All right.
then-
Yeah. So yeah, the dog kind of sits and does the begging move where he puts his one paw up in the air and sits on his haunches.
Oh,
Oh, too bad you got Snooky.
As much as that may be cute, so we cannot stay for the full performance. Yes.
All right. Yeah. You. It didn't immediately sound an alarm because you have been around the dogs. You were at least introduced to them, so they knew your smell. You're part of the security. It's somewhat anyway. But giving the brisket, the dog just kind of sits down with its prize, lays on the ground, and starts chewing. Okay. Lancia, you're in the office. A moment later, Randall comes in, closes it. Now, if you turn the light on in the office, that will be apparent. So how do you want to play this?
Well, I of course have memorized the layout of the various offices and stuff. The way I imagine this is like you said, in the warehouse, part of it's been divided off into partitions and offices and all that. So we'll make our way to the writer's office and basically pull out the equivalent of a pen light and have Lancia work the lock here.
I would imagine that we probably have some of those early flashlights with the red lens.
Yeah, they were used heavily in the last war. So if you want to have one of those, that's fine. It doesn't put out nearly as much light, of course, but it is more subdued. So you find the place on the floor that the safe is in. So Lancia, that's shown to you. Now I'm going to cut the scene for a moment. And out front at the guard post, the guy is kind of got tired of you just kind of sitting there smoking cigarette after cigarette. He goes back into the guardhouse and he comes out with this huge thermos, a couple of cups, and he slings the shotgun over, his shoulder, opens the gate, walks over to you. It's like, hey, buddy, it's a little late. You waiting around for someone? Care for some coffee?
Face and shadow, I wait for justice.
I don't think Justice is here. He kind of scratches his head. Is he one of the foremen?
I sort of stand up, and my hand goes up over my head, and then trench coat comes off. Up comes the cape. I am the Raven.
Tell you what, make me an appeal roll. Let's see if this guy's old enough to know who the Raven was.
Well, I got an appeal of 41. Hey, you know.
Okay, so he drops the mugs, but he holds on to like the big carafe of coffee. He actually kind of pulls it in front of himself like he's gonna fend you off with it, and then he stops for a minute and he says, "Hey!" It's like this look of shock on his face, and he runs back to the guard shack. He didn't look like he was frightened. It looked more like awe, and he runs to the guard shack.
And I slowly just walk toward him,
Right.
not threateningly, just walk.
So he comes out a few minutes later with a comic book.
Oh God, I know that issue.
It's like,
now I imagine the cape is designed so that when it's down, it looks like a raven wing folded up on the side.
He's like, can you sign this? It's like, my grandpa loved you.
Wait a second. Here we go. I gotta remember how he signed him. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, yeah, so that's going on. You've seriously distracted the guard out front.
Oh God, yes. Yeah.
All right, so we're back to Lancia. It is combination. It's one of the combination lock safes. It's a little about a half a foot below the top of the ground, covered up. It's cemented in. So how do you want to go about this?
except there's probably no. There's probably no pulling it out. It's in there.
Yeah, it was cemented in place.
Yeah, so I'm probably just gonna have to just look down at it and do the best I can.
Okay.
Well,
So you did bring stethoscopes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you put on
Yeah,
your doctor's
You
gear.
brought the Raven safe cracking kit. So
yeah,
Yep.
it's literally a amplified stethoscope, so you can hear the tumblers fall into place.
So since you have the skill and you have the proper tools, you can make it at full.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you're going to make me a roll, and again, this is going to be instinct. It's your knowledge of how these things work versus the mechanism.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, you spend a few minutes at it, and you're just not able to get it. So like 5 minutes passes, 8 minutes pass, and you just get frustrated. You look up, and it's like, you can't get it.
Just kind of shake my head.
to bring the Raven drill. No, you don't want to use that because saves.
No,
Saves
come on now,
loud.
Lamont. You're not in contact.
I know,
with
I
the-
know, I know.
No radios.
Says, well, let me give it a shot. What am I supposed to be listening for? Because I am not skilled in this at all.
Right. So you can try it. You have the tools, but not the skill. So you can try it at half.
Well, I'm hoping for like 0, 1,
Mm,
but it's better than not rolling at all.
Yeah, it's too.
Not even close.
This
yeah,
thing hates
you
us
actually
both.
can't hear the tumblers fall at all. Like you turn it and turn it and turn it, and there's like no difference in the sound at all. Like you can't hear anything fall.
Well, says we might have to come back with some acid or something like that to remove the hinge.
The Falcon drill.
Well, that's gonna be loud. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that's going to be incredibly loud.
Or the Falcon thermal lance, but burning what's inside.
That's not subtle.
Mm,
Okay, well,
yeah.
All right, so let's cut scenes for a moment. I'll give you some time to
Yeah.
think about that. So out front, the guard has
Yeah.
got his comic book back. It's been signed. He's clutching it like the most precious thing in the world. It's just, so what did Paragon hire you for a scene? Man, you look so young and fit. He makes the fake boxing moves at your stomach.
Mhm. I don't twitch. Consider me extra security.
Oh, all right.
Bad things are happening in Paragon. So beware.
Can I hear it? Say the words.
I'm making sure no one does crime nevermore.
He's just got a look of glee on his face.
He's squealing like a fangirl, yeah.
Well, he pours you a cup of coffee, offers you a
Mhm.
cigarette, but then he'll go back to his post.
Yeah.
He does
Oh.
grab the radio though when he goes back, and you can see
Mhm.
he's like talking to somebody on the other end of it.
Ham, you got to check this out.
Mm-hmm. I just, I'll walk over to the guard shack.
Mhm.
Yeah, and all the while not looking at him, but looking at that window in the building,
Okay.
the one that the guy is supposed to be sitting in.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go back then. So have you guys thought of anything you want to try or do?
Well, honestly, we hit a roadblock, so
Yeah, we might just have to come back tomorrow. I know it's a little bit riskier, but
yeah, don't
just
have.
regroup
Mhm,
and see what we have back at the cave.
yeah, so
Nest.
It was the oddest thing for both of you when you both tried it. Like you've got these really great stethoscopes that just amplify all kinds of sounds. But as you were rotating the lock, it was just a smooth sound the entire way.
It's
There
just-
was no sound at all of a tumbler falling.
we try to memorize this lock
Mhm.
because there is a catalog. Maybe we can find out its weakness when we do some research.
Yeah. No, there is no master combination. That's something.
Oh, no.
Let me just see what its mechanism is, if there's
Yes.
something different
Yeah.
about it.
If maybe you take an awl and a hammer at the right spot and smack it, it'll break it open, or something like that. Because
Yeah.
locksmiths have their ways,
Mhm.
and we have an extensive library when
Yeah.
we're looking that stuff up.
Lancia, since you have the skill, why don't you make me an instinct roll?
Okay. Oh, well, now it's nice.
Okay, so how much,
Yes.
how much under your skill is that?
Well, I have a 79 in instinct, and that's a 35. So
Okay, so more than half under. You have never heard of a lock like this, a tumbler lock that there are no tumblers falling. This is an impossibility. So there's something squirrely about the whole mechanism. This is not a normal lock.
So is there a? I'm just because she would notice this. Is there like a manufacturer's name on the dial?
Actually, there's not. It would probably be on the cylinder that was sunk into the cement. So, like, there's nothing on the outside to determine what kind of lock this is. You just know from experience, there's no way a combination lock would just have that smooth sound during an entire rotation. There would have been some sound of a tumbler falling somewhere, and nothing did.
Well,
maybe this was something custom. This is not normal at all.
well, the only way to find out is to do some research. Okay,
Meanwhile, yeah. So is Hammond running up outside?
Yeah, after a bit, a guard and his dog. Yeah, he's down a dog. You were told he would have 3. He comes in with 2 dogs, come out to the guard shack, and he's got a big smile on his face. He tips his cap as well, and he's talking to George. He says, "Did they hire him for a scene or something? What's he doing here?" He's like, well, "He said he's extra security. They must have hired him for more security." Wow.
No one hired me. I came on my own cognition.
Well, that's good because they ain't paying us very well.
I reach into a pocket because I know he has something. I knew it was in there. I pull out a pair of dog treats. Who's a good boy?
Yes, the dogs come forward.
Just a second. I go, who's a good girl?
All right. Well, you were thoroughly distracted to the 2 guards.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And as I look up, I see the 2 of them leave the warehouse.
Just a little detail. The way I would have cut that fence is so that when it drapes, it
falls back in place.
Falls back into place. So it's not obvious until you start poking at it.
Sure.
Yeah.
The pro cut, not the amateur cut.
Yeah, and I pull the doggy trees out when I see the door opening up, so I definitely have their attention. And I look at them both, and they, reach into the side, pull out a pair of talons, and hand one to each one of them.
Yeah, one of the throwing
You're
feathers.
the good sorts. I may have need of people who are good sorts.
All right. Yeah. Again, yes. So they're distracted. Did you work out a beat pattern to send to them to let them know, or?
Oh yeah, my hand goes, and I hit him, boop boop boop, I hit him with the beep beep beep. I don't know that I got distracted, but I'm also trying to chat these guys up, see if they're, I'm trying to figure out if they're on the up and up.
Okay, yeah,
just literally security guards.
Yeah, I mean they seem to be. They might be. You might find them to be a little lax if they're actually.
Oh yeah.
They're out here talking to you instead of asking like what the heck you're doing out here. They seem to have just bought the whole line about you being here on your own, and but yeah, both of them are pretty much they're fans. They grew up reading the comic books about the Raven. Their uncles talked about you all the time, or your predecessor. And the suit that you're wearing is like, that's not a Halloween costume suit. I mean, it's a piece of tech. I mean, it's not in the least bit shoddy. So it
No, no,
looks
no, no.
real.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, I've seen someone did a Nightwing costume, and it's absolutely beautiful. It would stand up. It's up there with the old vigilante costumes we used to have here in Seattle. There was a guy who used to patrol. He got in a costume and he patrolled. He wore body armor, but he also wore the fake pec stuff. I don't need. Louis doesn't need that. Louis doesn't need that.
Yes. All right, so you guys get the beeps across that tell you that the guards are both being entertained. So what do you want to do? Yeah, you're puzzled by this safe that doesn't seem to be a safe, or at least not your conventional safe.
Need to beat a hasty retreat.
Yeah, we need to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we have the time and everything's open. So.
Of course, I imagine you guys step out the door, look up, and you see the Raven stand there talking to the two guards. It's like,
yeah. Once you get out of the back end again, out of the back of the warehouse, you can kind of see up front that the Raven is entertaining. So you get to the chain link fence, and you're out. Maybe you brought a few extra pieces of metal with you, so you can just kind of twist tie it back so it doesn't look too conspicuous.
Yeah, and after I see them disappear, I sort of, would you mind if I patrol the outside? I know I do not have permission to enter the property, but I will peruse the outside if you don't mind.
The shack guard seems to be a little bit older and maybe outranks the other guy who's a much younger guy. He says, well, that's all public land, Raven, sir. You're welcome to do what you like. Of course, unless you're actually on the Paragon staff, I'm afraid I can't let you into the grounds. It is our duty, after all, but look all you want to outside.
Yeah, the sweep of the cape, and I just, start walking in the direction I know those two are coming out of. So there's no reason for them to actually go that direction.
Okay.
Because that's the way I'm going.
As you're parting, you hear the
Nice.
younger one say, I didn't think the Raven drove a Model T.
So yeah, as I go along, I see you two, crawling through the fence, and I just walk right past you. Other than, good evening, citizen.
Hey, I guess Lancia, you're not the only actor in the group.
I'm in the Raven costume. How you think I'm going to act?
That's a good question.
Not costume. I'm in the Raven uniform.
That's right. Treat
And
the
I
uniform with respect.
And I will do a once around.
Okay.
It will take me.
Make me an
several
instinct check as you do your
Ooh,
once around.
Okay. Boom. Woohoo! Not. It's under half.
You actually find another breach in the fence, and it's really subtle because they actually use the same coloration and the same kind of wire to kind of put it back in place, but it looks more permanent. Like this has been used a lot. You wouldn't noticed at all if you were just walking by it casually. It's so well done. And like directly behind where it goes is it's the area where you guys keep all the lumber for the sets. So like the lumber is kept in a area out back that has an overhang just to keep the weather off of it. But right next to there as well is that's the office to the cast manager. It's really close to that doorway almost in a fence. So you play around with it and you can see that's like, it's really easy just to pop this panel open and put it back and it looks like it's perfectly sealed.
Yep. I grab a hold of it and just bend it back.
Okay.
I make it very obvious this is a hole in the fence. And with this,
wasn't there something dodgy about who provided lumber for the Paragon? I think that was a dangling clue.
Yeah, you found that the invoice said that they were buying like top quality lumber, but what you got sent was like bargain basement.
White pine, still wet. So yeah, I'm gonna try. Actually, I'm physically gonna try to actually ruin their disguise.
Right. Yeah. So to make it obvious. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Would that be like, can I just do it or?
Yeah. No, you can just do it. It's fine. It's
All right,
fine.
yeah, yeah. Bend it up and then catch it up in the barbed wire, and it's like, yeah. Then I stop and think for a second, and I know he didn't bring it, but I pull it out and make sure you can't put it back.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Put
You
it
spend
back.
some time doing that. So, what do you guys
Yeah.
say to each other, or what do you do now?
Well, I'll get on the radio because no, they're not someplace they can need to be quiet, and said, "This is the Raven, Magpie. I need to go around this place so I can keep my cover proper. Did you break the safe?"
No, no, we both tried. There's something really, really weird about that lock.
Meet you back at the
Yeah.
Raven's Nest.
Yeah, we're heading back. We need to regroup and figure out what we can do about this.
I'll be a bit because I told them I would do the circuit around the fence, and if I don't do it, they'll wonder. This
Okay.
is Raven out. So yeah, I make the circuit, and looking at the size of it on the map,
It's going to take a while. Yeah.
Mhm.
2 hours later, I come back to the gate.
Yeah. It's essentially it's an entire city block all the way around.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah. Of course, when I get back to the gate, I will look at I'll what's it? I obviously got their names. And one guy's Hammond,
David Ham and George Conley.
David Ham, George. And I give the street location. The fence was cut open by the lumber. I've made it very obvious that it was breached.
All
You
right.
may want to
Well,
report it.
he looks at his watch. He says, "Well, the foreman's coming in. It's almost midnight. He'd be here soon. If you'd like to talk to him, we'll point it out, of course, Mr. Raven."
And the first thing I want to do is talk to somebody who knows me. So no. So I go, no, that's fine. You let them
Funny,
know that
you've got the suspicious build of a boxer. I know.
No, you can try to disguise your voice as much as you can, but unless there's some sort of like voter that has built into the costume, it's very hard to actually disguise your voice. You know, even
So-
when you go.
Do you guys
Yeah,
just want to meet back at the lair then?
Yeah,
I think so.
right.
Yeah.
I'll let them know that I have, crime is happening. I need to leave. And I'll hop into the Model T and drive away after picking up the trench coat and hat because, yeah, that's got to come back in costuming. And I'll go back to Joe's and then from there I'll switch into probably got a backpack or satchel and put everything into the satchel and be back in normal clothes and
All right.
then
So we'll say it's around 2 a.m. by the time everybody's back at the Raven lair.
Mhm. Yeah, so I let them know I found the breach into the that they made. The saboteurs made. So yeah,
That sounds almost too permanent for saboteurs.
oh yeah, it was disguised.
Well, remember the whole drug thing with the lockers? What if that's how they were getting in?
Well, I let the guards know, so if they're on the up and up, it's going to get reported,
Okay.
and hopefully it will get fixed. In fact, Abraham's coming in later on today, so you know what? I may eschew a little gym practice and stop on by and see if I can give him a hand.
And then we, of course, share our information about the safe. And then
Mhm.
we've got to hit the archive and see if we can find anything about this.
Well, it only goes back to, and I give a date.
Yeah, but this is built into the foundation, so it may not be a new safe, just a very unusual one.
And there was no brand name on it, so maybe they had it custom made or something along those lines.
So this is a case where can I pop my trivial knowledge and at least have an idea of something like this that may have actually existed?
I tell you what, it's a possibility, yes, but I actually want to roll for this. So give me an instinct check.
All right. Oh, that's one of my traits, folks. I have what did I call it again? Extraordinary trivial knowledge.
Oh wow, yeah. Crit success.
Oh.
Okay, so you actually were probably reading up a little bit about the grounds that
Mhm.
Paragon Studio is on now, and of course, this was not
Mhm.
always a studio.
Mhm.
It used to be a
Yeah.
rail yard. That rail yard was closed down quite a while ago. So many of the buildings that are there now, Paragon actually had built. It is
Mhm.
quite likely that that office is a new building, new concrete,
Ah.
so new safe as well.
So it was. So it may be of new, and Paragon was built at least in the silent era.
Yeah.
So 1910s, 1920s. Raven stopped in the 1910s, basically.
Mhm.
So it might have information, or we might have to pull out the Rolodex and see if we can find one of his safecrackers who might know.
Huh.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty specialized information about specific locks and tumblers. It's not something that's just, like
Yeah.
social commentary information you would have picked up. But
Yeah.
yeah, you do know that it's not going to be exceptionally old. It was probably put in at the time when Paragon took over the rail yard and turned it
In
into a
fact,
movie
that used to
production.
be it used to be the railing, the side railing track where they used to pull the cars over. So
Hmm.
that was all gravel and rails.
Hmm.
That building is.
Hmm.
So they did some substantial construction. Did it look like they actually jackhammered in, or was it? I'm talking to these guys. Did it look to you like it was put in put in when they built it, or they jackhammered out a hole and shoved it in afterwards?
It didn't look like it was actually built into the foundation.
No, actually, it did look like it was poured
Yeah.
with the
Ah,
foundation.
oh,
Yeah.
It did, yeah.
and it's round.
Yeah. That big steel can,
Yeah,
funky lock.
basically. A cylinder
It'd be like
thing.
one hinge, then, not multiple hinges. So that if there's a weak spot, it's the fact that it only has one hinge.
Hmm.
Yeah, there are a number of things you could do. I mean,
Yeah.
you can find acid. The Raven Slayer would have some, although its potency is debatable since how long it's been
Mm.
sitting around.
True.
You
Tools, certainly chisels and hammer, but that's going to make a lot of noise.
Well, actually, come Friday,
Mhm.
since I'm going to reach out to Professor Chiffrey. He's an old Raven ally, works for the School of Criminology. He might actually know something about some very unusual safes. So,
and you know what?
it never hurts.
I found out Abraham, my foreman, is coming in earlier this morning to do some work. You know what? I may just pop up and show up and break out some of the tools and start making noise.
Mhm.
Okay, well, let's work the professor angle first,
Yeah.
because he might give us some critical information. Never
Don't call
hurts.
him now because he's sound asleep, probably.
Of course. But he is going to have classes. So if I can, I know where he's going to be tomorrow. It's
Mhm.
just a matter of getting a word in with him.
And you still got to move your wardrobe from your rooms in the college, don't you?
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Yes, I don't know how persistent the police are.
Yeah.
Cut to a scene of the door to your office that's inside the college dorm, and it's just got a piece of yellow tape that says "police line" on it. Do not cross.
Oh no, yellow tape is too recent. More like it's got like boards across it saying "please."
It's just got a little sign that says "police" on it.
Do not disturb.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'll head on over during and see if Abram needs a hand. I have
I'll
to
say
come up with a
we'll
good story
cut to
why.
Friday morning then.
Yeah.
So you're there before Abraham gets there, or around the time that he gets there?
I'm gonna wander over. I'm gonna be like, I'm bored. I want to do something, and there's a ramp that needs fixing, and then I'm gonna come up with a proper excuse why I'm there. I'm one of
Okay.
his diligent workers.
He actually
So-
expects you, knowing
Yeah.
that you're one of his more reliable workers, even though you've only been here a couple of weeks. He's
Yeah.
brought coffee and he's brought some donuts from one of the nice little bakeries nearby.
Abraham.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he expects that you would probably be on the job, if not more donuts and coffee for him.
I thought you were raising some barns.
So, Randall, you give a call to your contact, and you know he doesn't have a lot for you. He just tells you that, like, well, sometimes a lock's not a lock. Did you physically examine it? Maybe it's show. It's just all for show, or maybe it doesn't open the way that you think it does. There are a lot of novelty safes that are like that. And that's
What,
the best
you mean the
can
thing
offer.
might like twist like a bottle cap?
Well, I would suggest going about it in unconventional ways. You say it's one of them turn dial safes. Well, maybe look for a keyhole instead, or maybe try and start in the opposite direction. Normally you turn those clockwise to start, maybe start counterclockwise. A lot of these bespoke safes that were put together are done that way. They're just not what they appear to be.
Or or it could be that it spins and turns, but you just pop it off, and hey, look, there's a keyhole.
But yeah, so that's what he offers. That's
Okay,
about
so
it.
he can't. He cannot see over the phone me face palming.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, that. So
And
thanks,
It's totally,
Professor. That never occurred to me.
yeah, and it's totally within your purview to show up during the day to do a little consulting.
So Louis is there bright and early. So he
Mhm.
starts off doing his construction with Abraham,
Yeah,
who stays around for a bit just to make sure you don't need a hand. Otherwise, he wants to check the rest of the sets to make sure that nothing else funny happens. He wants to make sure that shooting can start Monday, that they're not any further behind.
yeah. I'm complaining about the wood we got here. Is that this stuff that needs to cure in a kiln for a while before we use it.
Yeah, Abraham looks at it and he just kind of kicks like the stack over, says, "Don't use this. Go out back. We still got some lumber from the last project we did. This is all termite food."
Yeah. So I'll head on out, and none of the guards who were on last night are at home right now, sleeping, dreaming dreams of raven wings.
Yep. So there was a new guard. There was a new person at the guard gate. There's a few more officers. Well, we won't call them officers, but rent-a-cops on duty now. There's a lot more people here during the day because they have to keep away the people looking to get in to see the actors. Of course, there's none this weekend or none today, but people don't know that.
So when I go to the lumber pile, do I notice anyone working on the fence?
Well, you notice that there's actually a guy stationed there. Like a guard is stationed there, and he says, "Hey, I didn't know you guys were working today. We got a problem here. Any chance you might be able to fix this hole?"
I look at, I'm carpentry. I mean, I could just kind of wire it up, but it looks like you really need to like cut off a section of the fence and redo it.
Yeah, we got a fencing company for that, but it's I don't know if they're open today. Can you just do the best you can? We'll just station a guard here through the day.
I look at the crappy pine boards we got, and I say, you know what? I can rig something up. So I'm gonna make a little crappy. I'm gonna pull the fence back down because I work at like, who the hell did this? And pull it back down, and I'll just try to use baling wire and nails and build a barricade.
Okay, sure. That makes plenty of noise. Pretty close to where the offices are. So, Randall and Lancia, how do you get on the set today, or what do you want to do to get onto the set?
Randall, it's daytime.
Yeah,
both of them have legitimate reasons to just walk right on the set. Lancia forgot something.
Yeah.
Is that a tactic you guys want to use, just to show up together and just say, hey, Yeah, you're both passed. Actually, nobody really questions it, other than Lancia. They do ask, talents here today. Hey, we got fewer guards than normal. We didn't expect any of the talent here. So would you like someone to accompany you around? We want to make sure you're safe.
Oh, no, I'll be fine.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Okay, okay. No catering today either. We didn't expect anyone through.
Oh, I'm just picking up something I forgot. I won't be here long at all.
Yeah, so you're both on. You can hear, you see Louis actually at the fence making all kinds of ruckus as he's cutting and hammering
Mhm.
and building.
Dropping boards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a barricade. I mean, it is, someone with a half decent axe can get through it, but it'd be making noise.
Mhm.
I am making the worst little rascals barricade you ever did see.
So the guard force is mostly concerned about keeping the building, external building secure so that no one's getting in to harass anyone. So the building itself is pretty much empty today. As a matter of fact, you seem to be the only one walking through the studios right now.
There's that suspicious brisket smear on the floor.
Okay. Well, it would be easy enough to get into the office.
Yes.
She didn't say where she lost
Oh.
or forgot her stuff. So
Behind behind you,
the-
Todd.
The offices are towards the rear of Paragon, so like all the filming areas up front, and then there's the lockers, and then the offices. So there's a fair number of things between you and anyone else that might be looking in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we'll take another stab at it.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me what you want to do. You pop the floor open again. You see the Stafe staring back at you accusingly.
This is like, so I talked to the professor, and he said it might be a fake. So I'll just try moving things around, twisting, see if the tumbler's not, the knob really is something that just screws off or flips off, and
Make me an instinct roll.
my weakness, but we'll give it a shot. Not even close. I just
Right, it's a simple failure. Oh, wow, is it? No, it's not a critical failure. It's a simple failure. So you play around with it. You tumble it one way, then the other. You do notice that if you turn it left, it doesn't. The dial doesn't move as smoothly. It seems to rasp a little bit.
Okay. Well, I just kind of bare palms and
At the safecracker
motion
slide.
at Lancia.
It is something. I'll try and look at it again.
Yep. Give me an instinct roll. Play around with it. See what you can figure out.
Oh my god, this thing absolutely hates me.
Again, not a critical failure. So you do get some. There's definitely something wrong with the dial. Like it's very smooth and it's very even when you're turning to the right. But again, you're not hearing any tumblers fall. But as you turn it to the left, it kind of makes a raspy sound, like almost like a screw turning. And you actually feel like maybe it's as you keep turning left, it's actually raising a little bit. It's like coming up off the face of the thing a little.
Yeah, it looks like turning it left actually does do something. I do hear something different, and it does feel like it's raising.
You want
So
to
maybe-
keep going?
Yeah, I'm going to keep going because
Well, if
maybe
you
he was
keep
onto
turning
something.
it left, it just keeps getting further and further up from the face of the lock, and then eventually it comes off in your hand, and it's just a screw cap, and there's actually a keyhole right underneath it.
Wow. So I can probably try lock picking the keyhole if it, or looking at it to see if it looks like a normal keyhole.
It looks like
I don't-
it looks like a normal keyhole. Yeah. You haven't come across a key or anything, but you can certainly try and pick it now to see what
Mhm.
might happen.
Whoops.
I think the worst key the pick are the
What is with this thing in 89s?
You
That's like two in a row.
No,
think if
that's
you
your
stayed,
third one.
you think if you stayed at
It's
it, you
3.
could open it. It's not a complicated lock. It's just hard to get to. It's got this metal around it that this thing's screwed in on, and it's in the floor. So you've got to you're laying on your belly trying to work at it. You think you could get it. It just might take more time.
yeah, it could be one of those funny locks where you actually need a third pick in there because you may have
Yeah.
things on the other side you need to maybe a double tumbler.
So the
Which is
question
always
is, do
fun.
you want to keep at it, Lancia, or do you want to give it up for now? You think you could get it, but it might take you a good half hour to work it out exactly.
Why is that capping so loud? I can give it one more try.
All right, so you want to keep at it? All
Yeah,
right,
I'm going to keep at it.
give me a second. Let me see what happens here. All right, let's cut scenes for a minute. Louis, you are constructing some kind of barrier to go over this fence. You notice that outside, really nice luxury car pulls up, and driver comes out. He's dressed in a very, very nice black chauffeur's uniform. He's got the cap on. He goes to the back. He's got white gloves. He opens the back, and man comes out. He's wearing this very, very expensive white suit. He's got a Panama style cap on that's got a bright red feather on the side. He's got a briefcase, and he's checking in. Like the car stops right outside the gate. He checks in with the gate people. They let him in, and he's walking in towards the building. So you're seeing this off to the side lot. The offices are just a little bit behind you to the rear. The office that they're in has a window on that back wall there. So yeah, you see this. You've never seen this guy on the lot before.
It's time for the clumsy laborer. I grab a 2x4 and start walking that direction. And then as I get nearer the guy, I turn with the 2x4 on my shoulder and hey, do we have any coffee inside? And see if he dodges out.
You nail him right in the face with the back end of the board.
That's twice now.
It sends him flying. He drops the briefcase. You get a good look at him. He's got, darker tan skin, black hair. He's got a pencil thin mustache on him. Looks like he's maybe in his late 20s, early 30s. And you knock him out. Like you hit him full on with the back end of that board. He goes sprawling and he's not moving.
I just dropped the 2x4 and I go, geez. I go over, get a medic, get a doctor or something for this guy. I think I broke his nose.
All right. So while you're doing this, you notice that he has a lanyard, and he's got a pass on it.
What's the name?
Yep. Give me just a second here. I got to make sure I get this right and pull up the right thing. All right. So the pass says Eddie V on it.
Eddie V.
Right, and it's the pass that the producers wear. It's got the gold edging on it.
Eddie V. Oh, does that name ring any bells? Probably not.
Yeah, you haven't ran across it yet. So the guys at the guards gate comes running in. The chauffeur from the outside is running in as well as you're bending over this guy.
I'm sorry, it was a total accident. I didn't mean to hit him. Not this hard. Anyway,
make me an instinct roll.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, 6.
Oh, okay. Not quite a crit, but really good. He is, though, despite how well tailored his chauffeur's uniform is, there is a telltale bulge under the left arm, and he's got his hand in there. He's packing. And
I just put my hand. I don't know what happened. I was taking some lumber back to the thing, and I turned around and talked to the guard, and I clocked him with the board. And I'm really sorry. Sir, pat.
The chauffeur, up close now. He's a pretty large guy. He's about your size, Louis, and he tells you, "Look, back off."
Nope. No problem.
Who is this clown? Get this man fired, Mr. V. You all right? He's like smacking him around the face a little bit. Mr. V. The guard's like, I got some smelling salts back in the shack, and he runs and gets the first aid kit.
I pick up
get out of here.
I pick up 2-4 and skedaddle over to the lumber yard. I'll probably run a little too close to the window and run the board across it. So you guys inside here, as I go across the frames.
All right. Lancia, make me another instinct roll on the safe. Does that make it?
Better?
Yes, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it does. It's a 56 and
All
my
right.
instinct is
It's
79.
tricky. Like, you get it. It's like it took all of your skill. It took a few extra tools, but you get it. You pop the safe, and inside, in the barrel of the safe, there is wads of cash wrapped in plastic, and there is several file folders, really thick file folders in there.
And we probably don't have much time. I definitely pull out the file
Yeah,
folders.
this is where you hear the rat-a-tat on the window, and you see Louis running by with the lumber.
And we got to go.
Yep. Let's put
So
it
you
all
take
back.
it all.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh, whoop.
I was going to leave the cash.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was more concerned about the file folder.
Okay. Well, by the time you guys get to the front, there is an ambulance taking some guy in a white suit away.
I'm busy talking to Abraham saying, I didn't mean to hit him. I was just talking to the guard. I was carrying some lumber and I just KO'd him. You know.
Oh, yeah, we might be in for a little bit of trouble, Louis. I'll try to
I've been
keep
through a
your
lot of
job for
trouble.
you. We'll just have to see what comes Monday.
Yeah. I really hate that. This was, my boss is in the hospital, so I'm doing this. Be honest, I'm doing this because I need the cash. This is like, and blah blah blah
Hey,
blah.
calm
blah,
down, Louis. I'll do what I can for you. That's
Mm.
that was one of the major money men for the production.
Oh
You didn't tell him your name, did you? No one asked your name.
no. But then again, I just stand there and put my hands up.
Well, I mean, if he didn't know like who to fire, if he's not back on, we might be okay. You might be okay, Louis.
Mhm.
You just keep working. I'll run cover for you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I need to grab some more some lumber, but I think I'll put it on the cart this time, not carry it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Randall and Lancia, you guys, you leave together. You got the files. You left the cash behind in the plastic wrap. So
Yeah.
you're in the car. If you start taking a look through the files, just a quick look. What they are is like they're all individually like clamped together stacks of paper. The first part of the paper is like a particular scene. Some of them you've already filmed, and you're looking at it, and they're it looks like someone was suggesting how the scenes should be shot. This does not look like the scripts you were given. Like this is maybe an early draft of the same scenes, right? But not exactly. So they look like this is the original. So they play out a scene, and then you turn to the next few pages, and they're actually somebody's handwritten notes about that scene, but as if it were like the particular scene was a drive-by shooting. And in the notes, it's basically like Carlos and Vance were in the car. They killed, X at this time. The cars, the evidence was, driven into, this river, etc. It gives names, it gives dates, and other
And
informations to the actual, like,
And
if
it's
this is a real
handwritten.
crime.
Handwriting's the same thing as putting your fingerprints on it.
And there's probably his fingerprints on it too.
Yeah, I just let out one of those low whistles. It's like,
Right. Do you want to keep going through it while you're sitting in the car, or do you want to drive elsewhere?
no, we need
Yeah,
to
let's
get out of
leave.
here.
Let's get out of here. No.
I'm gonna be there the rest of the day. I'm going to be, working extra diligent on that ramp, rebuilding it so it's over spec'd.
Okay.
Yeah. So I won't be seeing you guys till like about 6 or 7.
Sure. So you're back at the Raven Lair then, I guess, guys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Does copy technology beyond photographs exist at this time?
There's mimeographs.
No.
yeah.
Oh,
There is photographic copying.
Yeah. Yep.
It was very primitive, but it's literal photographic copying.
Okay.
Do you want to go through the rest of the documents while you're there?
Sure, but
Yes.
I
Okay.
can already see what this is. This is
Smoking gun.
an accidental written confession.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's telling you the players, it tells you the time. None of it though is like you're going through it and like you can't remember any of these things happening in the newspaper. So either they didn't happen in this town or they happened a long time ago.
No,
But then as you're going through the last
cro-
stack of
yeah.
papers, which is it's one of the last scenes that are going to be filmed. You actually haven't seen the script for it, so you don't know if it's going to be in the film or not. Maybe it's for a later episode. But it details how the Lamont family was executed.
Mm.
Oh.
I bet if we corroborate, what's the word? If we compare notes from Lamont's investigation with this document, though, we're going to get some hits.
Mhm.
I think this is what we need to make this stick. The
Yeah.
question is, who do we trust
Yep.
with it?
Why don't you and Lancia both make me instinct rolls? This is as you're going over the documents. You're pulling out the documents you got from the lawyer
Charles.
Lamont.
Yeah,
The one-
Charles Lamont. Yeah.
Charles.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Whew.
43. How does that do for you, Randall?
That's me burning points
Okay.
because I've got an instinct of 40.
Okay.
I will burn whatever I need in
Okay.
player points to
Okay.
get that.
All right. So get it down to a 40 to make it a success. Okay. And Kim, how did you do?
Well, my instinct, I barely got under. My instinct's a 79.
Oh,
and that's a
yeah. So you both
72,
make
yeah.
it. All right. You're able to piece some things together as well as some of the information you guys have gathered. And what you're finding is the crime family that the Raven supposedly took care of, decades ago,
Vincenzo.
was never taken care of. The Vicino family has been here all along. And interestingly, as you are going through the information, you're finding out something very interesting is that the Vicino family, through a number of arranged marriages, is now the Munger family. They're the same family.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, just try to put a legit face on it.
Yeah.
Well,
So the Raven's old nemesis was never completely eradicated. They've been working underground, changing the way they do crime, changing the family name. All along, they've still been here.
Yep. So.
well,
Yeah, well, dinner time. That's when I come ambling back into the. So, do you find anything?
Yeah. You might want to have a seat.
Should I have a drink as well?
Yes, yes.
I'll go over and get some of that 40-year-old scotch that's been sitting in the cabinet.
Have a couple.
Oh, it started off as 40-year-old scotch. It's now 60-year-old scotch.
No, it only counts if it's in the barrel.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it still is like and I'm just sitting there just staring at them when I hear about the details of what happened to my cousin. Is like we got to tell Davenport.
Mhm.
You think that the information you have is more than enough to get a court case started, to get an investigation started. It's just a matter of who do you trust to hand it over to. Now, there's a few names like David Troy, who's the guy that might be in the FBI.
Troy, yeah.
And then there's the DA who your uncle was working with. Mr.
Yeah, I think he's bought. I'm convinced he's bought, so I'm not even considering the DEA. I mean, we could take the Black Beauty and drive to New York and hit the FBI there,
That might be fun.
or we can trust Detective Detective Troy, Agent Troy, whatever.
yeah, that's we could totally sabotage this case if we turn it over to the wrong people.
Hmm.
Yeah, and looking at those lines, yeah. Morgan Stone is dirty as anything.
Yeah. So what I'm drawing your attention to is that the Munger family
Mhm.
and the Dawson family control the city council, who have hired the police commissioner, Drew
Yeah.
Elliott,
Mhm.
who is the
Mhm.
person that's in direct contact with the district attorney's office. Morgan
Mhm.
Stone, the DA, supposedly your uncle trusted him, but then,
Mm.
he was gunned down in his own home with his entire family. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We either drive to, so we either go to Atlantic City, we go to New York, or we head to Albany.
or you trust that David Troy is actually with the FBI, and then you get the feds involved and cut out all the locals.
Mm-hmm. I sort of stop
You
it.
know, that might be the way to go.
Mhm.
Well, we're not delivering it. I stand up and down my scotch. The Raven's delivering it.
Um,
Yeah.
okay. I need some help here. Sage is a criminologist student,
Mm-hmm.
so he would know what is considered admissible evidence.
Mm-hmm.
None of
Do
this
we-
is admissible, but it is enough preponderance of information to have an actual case opened on the subject. Like, it's enough for the feds to investigate.
Yeah.
It crosses state lines. It involves potentially, city council, the office of the police commissioner. There's a lot of names implicated in here that would be
Yeah.
definitely a federal case.
Okay.
It's
So
also the FBI of J. Edgar Hoover during the 1920s. So a lot of a lot of the what's the right term, line of evidence, or no, not the line of evidence, actually a proper term for it. Damn, I can't remember it.
line
Yeah.
of custody.
Yeah, none
Line
of
of
that
custody.
matters.
Mhm.
Yeah, none of that
Yeah,
matters.
no.
You just have to have enough information to
Just-
put forward a persuadable case that they would want to investigate.
Well, here's what we do: we blend it. We take the DA's evidence, and we combine this folder with it, and we present it to Troy, saying this is what Lamont uncovered but wasn't able to reveal before he was killed. So now it's DA's evidence and not something that the Raven picked up on the street.
Mhm.
Maybe.
Still delivered as Raven.
Well, yeah, but if we mix it together like
yeah.
that,
Oh yeah, I agree.
because we have
Yeah.
people who can say, oh yeah, that's Lamont's handwriting. This is the cases that he was working on, and this must have been the evidence that he had that led him to those investigations.
That, and you still have open murder charges on for the Vincenzo family, which there's no time period for that. So if you can prove that they're still up and operating, and some of those people are still alive,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so next fun thing for Troy, do we bring him into the lair, or
I think we should probably pay him a visit. 'Cause we got-
Yes.
yeah.
all right. Well, let's go ahead. Let's do a wrap up scene here as to
Yeah.
how the information's handed over. So
Yeah, he lives on an upper floor of an apartment building. So I go back in the costume, in the Raven uniforms, and I say, "With this cape doesn't work," and I grab the wing cape.
okay.
That is, I can get on top of another building, thump, and like Batman from the movies. I can, of course, this is better because I can actually glide. It's basically a glider, and glide onto his fire escape, and or actually glide up to his window and sort of hang on and like knock on his window. So I'm outside his window.
All right. Yeah.
Eh,
So of course he greets you with a handgun. It's like,
you
he's
won't
like,
need
yeah, I
that.
thought I'd be seeing you at some point. Come on in.
Thank you, Agent Troy.
Oh yeah,
I'm
he
doing
looks
the
up
voice.
at that, and it's like, you can see him almost level the firearm. He's like, yeah, I guess you'd know. What can I do for you, the Raven?
I pull out. It's probably one of those lovely little leather satchels with the top that folds over, and as it pull up and plunking from on his kitchen table. I brought you the Vincenzo family and the murder of Charles Lamont and his wife and child.
All right. So I rolled a 71. He doesn't key on that you're Lamont. He's actually really good at that sort of thing, but he misses it completely. So he looks at this. He says, the Vincenzos are dead and gone. That family tree has been
We
uprooted.
failed to kill them. They've merged in with the Munger family.
And the proof's in here.
Yes.
Yeah, he looks over it after a little bit. He's like, I need to make some phone calls.
And I'm not leaving until I hear who he's talking to.
Yeah. He actually just motions to over. He's got like a crystal decanter, some bourbon over in the corner. He just motions you over to it.
I'm sorry. I'm on duty. I don't drink.
Yeah.
All right,
So you hear him. You
3
see
shots of whiskey.
you hear him. He dials too few numbers, and you hear him talk to someone on the line. And he pulls out inside. He pulls out his FBI badge, reads off some numbers that he's written down on it, and he says, "I don't care what time it is. Get Hoover on the phone."
I wait till he talks to Hoover. I'll just sitting back there with my cape to the side, just hunched over a little bit, in the perfect Raven pose, just watching him.
Okay.
Have you been practicing that in a mirror or something?
Maybe.
All right. So it sounds like you're trusting Troy then.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And,
you hang around and you listen to the conversation. It sounds like it's a little bit more involved than you think. Apparently, there's been an ongoing investigation that involves multiple states. They were pretty sure that something was going on with the Munger family and Paragon Studios, but they didn't know what it was. They thought it was drug running, which it was minorly, but that was just a small side deal that one of the Vincenzo family kids had started without proper okay to do so.
Just a hobby.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you hear him basically going over some of the information, and there's a lot of yes sirring back and forth. And if you stay through the whole thing, yes.
Yeah.
All right. He hangs it up and he says, "Well, things are going to be moving pretty quickly from here on out. Do you want your name out of this, or are you starting the career back up?"
The Raven's never been needed more than now. Thank you, Agent Troy. Do you wish me to hang around to give you any protection, or do you think you can handle this?
Were you followed?
No one follows the Raven.
Then I'm fine. I'm going to report to duty tomorrow at the local precinct as normal. And if you weren't followed, no one should know any better.
It's very hard to follow me. I walk over to the window, step up into it. There's a little fire escape there. Step onto it. The wings go out. No one follows the Raven. And jump.
All right,
And
so
glide away.
we'll just do a wrap up to this then.
And then look in the street at the prearranged location. I had Lancia drive in the black beauty so I can land on the roof.
Superhero landing.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is the feds show up the next day at Paragon, and they make a bunch of arrests. They have warrants. They start pulling out more information that was in other offices that were down through here. What comes out over the next couple of days is that the Celeste Munger was actually executed by her own family. She was the one that was in need of the drugs that was potentially, opening up their operation for scrutiny, and what started the FBI looking into things to begin with. So she was executed by her own family.
Oh.
Ow.
Yep. So her body is found in the river a few days later. They do make a number of arrests. So
Mhm.
like it's basically the Vincenzo family, the Munger family, they married into and they became,
Mhm.
basically one crime family. So the entire Munger
Mhm.
family didn't actually know what was going on, but a great many of them did.
Yeah.
A few weeks after that,
Oh, I'm
uh,
showing up Monday morning, looking, looking the place all sealed off, and I'm looking at Abram, who's probably also standing outside. This is me out of a job. I am playing the role. I'm keeping the Raven secret as best I can.
actually, no. The Dawson family and the Auger family actually buy out Paragon Studio after the Mungers are
Hmm.
expelled and the movie continues on. But now Lancia is the star. After she's shown off her superior acting abilities, they get you a blonde wig and they have you basically finish it off. Have you cut a few more scenes so
standing
that,
on standing on soapboxes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But several weeks later, a new comic book hits the street. Mr. Tate has put out his brand new issue of the Raven. It's been a decade since the last, and it
Yeah,
shows the Raven.
I probably do some patrols in the meantime.
So
Yeah.
it shows the Raven on the top of the iconic black car. It
Hmm.
shows Lancia with a domino face mask, and so it
And
says
the
the
little
Return of
shelter
the
hat.
Raven. And then below it, it's got like the Kestrel and the Magpie.
uh, we have to get you a
Cool.
black trench coat. They're Mr. Sage.
Tastefully done, of course.
Oh yeah, cut for a holster so it doesn't bulge.
Hmm.
Two.
Yeah.
All right, so
Oh
that will
yeah.
bring our Indiana
Mhm.
Jones to an end. We've
Yay.
got about
Yay!
16,
Yay.
17 some sessions of this on. Again,
Yeah.
Just a
those
quickie.
joining us tonight, this is the end of a long-running
Mhm.
game. Pick up the earlier editions if you're interested in knowing what happened on the
Yeah.
podcast at bluemagic.com,
Yeah.
BLUMAGIK. John, do you have anything you want to plug that you're working on?
No, but I do. I am on the Sunday Skypers. At the Sunday Skypers on Podbeam. So yeah, we do various things right now. We're swapping between Burning Wheel Pirates, and that one's served on a lay side. But right now we're doing Fate 60 Spies. I am Alex Ryder, 60-year-old spy with 5 years left to retire.
Nice.
And we're, up against the forces of profit.
Todd, you got anything you want to plug that you've been working on?
I
Yeah.
am been in progress on several projects. Nothing ready to reveal yet. But
Mhm.
if you like random web toys and character generators and stuff like that, visit tangent-0.com. And hey, I do take requests. So if you see something there that's close to what you want and you want to modify it, just grab the source code from the HTML files and you're more than welcome.
Nice. You actually got a game that I've been playing around with quite a bit, Trouble with Rose. It's quite neat.
Mhm.
Uses an interesting
Oh.
mechanic.
In that case, I should mention I also produce games under the name of John H. Ryder Jr. Games up on Drive-Thru RPG.
Well, there you go.
If you want to look for my signature game, which is Into the Chasm, and it's they're all one pagers, but I also do stuff. I've got a couple of roses. I've done, and I've done a couple of playbooks for Fiasco. And if you go over to Swag, the Savage Worlds Ventures Guild, you'll find some of my stuff there too. So I'm a little bit all over the place on my game design stuff.
I'll drop your links and show notes for this episode when it gets reposted around. Kim, anything that you'd like to plug that you're working on or part of?
Oh no, not really. My other group doesn't really do podcasts or anything like that, unfortunately.
Fair enough. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one with our Indiana
yeah.
Jones system, and say goodnight to what audience we had tonight.
I can't wait to see the beer end of Indiana Jones, because it's not a great system.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, but yeah.
Hey,
We made a
that's
shot
about
at
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
it. All right. Good night, guys.
Night all.
Night.
Good night.